afternoon, everyone. This is Tanya here from Silverphone Education Consultants. I have with me today Miss Niharika Kataria, the Student Recruitment Advisor for the University of Windsor. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hello, Tanya. I'm good. How are you doing?
Very well. Thank you for joining us today. So, just to give everybody a quick brief, we're here to talk about the University of Windsor, its location, its programs, its courses, scholarships, and basically give out all the information necessary that a student might require to basically decide on to the university as their, study abroad destination choice. So I have a bunch of questions here that I'd like to go over with you, ma'am. To begin
Sure.
with, I think I would like to start first by talking about the location of the university. So we do hear a lot about how Windsor's proximity to Toronto as a destination, and Toronto is one destination that every kid look forwards to going to, of course. So, other than that, I think I would want you to tell us a little bit more about Windsor as a destination and what are sort of the things that can attract a student to Windsor for their higher education.
Sure, Tanya. Thank you for the question. Windsor City is a medium-sized city in Canada, and it is in the GTA area, the Greater Toronto area. So when you were talking about the proximity to Toronto, it's not very far away from Toronto. However, the city is very well located on the borders of US and Canada. That really attracts students to the city because ultimately a lot of Indian students want to get into the US of A. So once they reach Windsor, they are able to get closer to USA because Detroit is our neighbor, Michigan State area,
Wow.
borders the city of Windsor. There is just one river separating Detroit and Windsor, which is River Detroit, and which is a very beautiful area. And it is a part of the city, and a lot of students like to spend a lot of time there because of the cultural activities that go around the riverside. So proximity to US is another attraction for location. And also the fact that it is a border city, a lot of international population likes to settle down in border cities
Okay.
because they are either working there or they have family there on the other side of the border. And that makes the city very diverse. So that diversity brings in different sort of languages to the city, different sort of food culture to the city. So the students are able to get that international experience, so to say, that they are always looking for when they are choosing to study abroad. And the Windsor Essex area is very, very safe. It is among the top five safest communities in Canada.
I
So
think
the
that's a
parents who
very
are
important factor.
exactly, so the parents who are sending the students away from them, away from the comfort zone, for them, safety and security is of utmost importance. I am a
Yes.
parent myself, so that is the first thing that I would look forward for my child to have a very secure environment. So the Windsor Essex area is very, very safe and secure for all international communities.
Wow, sounds like a great location to study at. Moving further, I think the next thing that I would like you to ponder upon here, ma'am, would be um, two things. When we talk about the course options available at Windsor, I would want you to cover some of the common ones, of course, if somebody wants to get into the mainstream courses, but also some unconventional courses for somebody who's looking to explore, something different. So just a little bit about what are the common courses available, and also some of the unconventional ones at the undergrad level.
Thank you, Tanya. That's a very interesting question because everybody talks about popular programs, but nobody talks about unconventional programs. So, to start off with, the popular programs at this university are our engineering programs. We are known for
Of
our
course.
engineering, automotive, because it is an automation capital. The Windsor area is known for its automotive industry. So our mechanical with automotive and aerospace is very popular. Our industrial engineering, civil engineering programs are very popular. We also have a very good program with very high employment rates in computer science. So students choose to do computer science at the University of
And of
Windsor.
course, I'm sure that's something that's very highly demanded right now by students.
Yes, any STEM related programs are very, very popular amongst Indian students. So, our
Absolutely.
engineering, computer science, business management, business administration programs, which have specializations into it, are very popular. However, we also have a lot of other programs that are, very different. As you would be knowing, Tanya, Canadian institutions offer a lot of interdisciplinary courses.
Yes,
So we have
absolutely.
very good combinations with business administration. Students can choose a business administration program and combine it with psychology.
Oh,
These days,
wow.
you see psychologists, psychiatrists needed in every realm of life, whether it is a school, whether it is an organization or a very high end company. We need psychologists all the time.
100%.
So, our business with psychology program is very different. It is an interdisciplinary program, and a lot of students can benefit out of this and get more career options if they choose it. We also have a forensic science program. That is something that students are nowadays choosing to get into. With so much crime rate increasing day by day, we need analysts
Yeah.
to examine the crime scene. So, our forensic science program is something very different that students can look at. We also have a criminology program, which is a 4 year degree,
Okay.
and students, as you would know, if they're applying to law degrees, it is
Mm-hmm.
very, very tough to get into
Yes.
the law degrees in Canada. So
Yeah.
the students make criminology a route or a pathway to get into
Oh,
the law
no.
degrees
Absolutely.
later on. So these two, three programs are unique and
Right.
unconventional, and a lot of students have started choosing them as a career option.
Right. So, ma'am, like when we talk about a program like the one that you mentioned that combines psychology and business administrations, what sort of eligibility or entry requirements does the university look for in a program like that? And of course, like earlier you mentioned the engineering programs, and that is something that quite a few students today look at getting into, especially computer science. So also the entry requirements that the student needs to be aware about for programs like that.
Sure. Entry requirements for our programs are quite simple, Tanya. We
Okay.
are looking at a minimum of 70% in the students' 10th and 12th boards.
All right.
We also accept predicted grades or pre-board results because, the application cycle starts a year in advance and the
Absolutely.
students might not have their final board results in place. So we will accept the pre-board results of the students or the predicted grades of the students to give them a conditional offer.
Yeah.
Specifically for these programs, if you're looking at business, psychology, or engineering, maths is mandatory. Anybody who's looking to
Okay.
go to Canada and to public institutions in Canada, please
Yeah.
ensure that maths is there, a part of your syllabus in 11th and 12th. Because
And
even
that
our
is
business programs require math. Psychology, if you're getting into the neuroscience specialization,
Mhm.
cognitive behavioral science specialization, then you would need maths.
That is definitely something that we as counselors face a lot of trouble in, because sometimes the kids, end up approaching us at a very later stage and they've not taken maths, and what they want to pursue is something that requires maths as a prerequisite. So, I mean, it's, putting that awareness out there for all of them so that they take that right decision at the right time if they want to pursue
Exactly.
something. Yeah,
And a lot of Indian students drop out maths after
that
10th.
happens as
So,
well.
in case they're looking to go abroad, especially to Canada or to US, maths is a
Important.
mandatory requirement. So, just advise them or counsel them to take up maths from ninth onwards only. They should concentrate on this subject area because
Yeah,
then it opens up a lot of avenues for the students. If they have
absolutely.
that maths element in 11th and 12th, if they have done calculus, vector, advanced functions at that higher level stage, they will be able to get entry into most of the good universities across the world.
Sounds great, ma'am. Moving further, I think we'd like to cover a little bit about the postgraduate requirements, courses, the unconventional ones, move on the same lines about the postgraduate opportunities available at the university.
You mean the master's programs, right?
Masters, absolutely.
Right. So we have course-based master's programs which the international students or Indian students can apply to.
Hmm.
We have the most popular ones again are applied computing or the MN specializations. We also have masters of management. Now, since we are a border city, a lot of trade happens between the two countries
Of
through
course.
our borders. So our logistics and supply chain is a very popular program within the management course. So Masters of
Okay.
Management with logistics and supply chain is something that students can look at. That is also an unconventional program, but now we have
Absolutely.
seen a lot of students choosing that. We have recently introduced a business data analytics specialization
Okay.
for the past 1 year within the Masters of Management. So that is also something that our students with a technical background who want to do something related to data analytics,
Right.
they can choose for. And if they want to combine business and computer science together, they
Hmm.
can choose that program. We also have programs in medical biotechnology. That is also a one-off program. It has just one intake in September, but it gets full very quickly. It's a
Okay.
master's of medical biotechnology. It's a professional degree for students with, say, a pharmacy background or a dentistry background, where they are able to, do a master's program, a professional degree, and get into those lines later.
Okay.
We also have programs in economic policy, applied economic policy. Masters of Applied Economic Policy is something that students can look at. The only catch in these master's programs is that we need 16 years of formal education.
Of
We
course.
are looking at a 4 year degree,
Yeah.
which a lot of students who are doing, say, a BCom program or a
Don't have.
bachelor's in
Yeah.
arts, they don't have. So for those students, we look at a 3 year bachelor's plus a 2 year master's to get onto our master's programs. Entry
Okay.
requirements are very simple. We are looking at 7 CGP and above.
Okay.
But we also have a very strict backlog policy. So we don't accept more than 2 backlogs all
Right.
across the faculties. So the students need to ensure that they have scored more than 7 CGPA and there aren't very many backlogs in those 4 years of study that they've
Right. Perfect. So I think those are some very interesting and that's a very varied range of options available for students to pursue when we talk about masters at the University of Windsor. Um, while we're on the subject of talking about the course options available, I think it's important that we also shed some light on the kind of fee structures that the students can look at. I think per annum is something that we can just give them a tentative idea about, something that they should be prepared for. And as we discuss the fee structures, if you could also elaborate a little bit upon the kind of scholarship opportunities that are available for students at both the undergrad and the postgrad level.
Sure, Tanya. Tuition fees is something very important for all parents who are
100%.
planning their kids, studies abroad. So we have tried to keep our tuition fee at a very competitive level.
Mhm.
We are a public institution, very highly ranked in Canada, but our fee structure ranges between 28,000 Canadian dollars and goes up to 34,000 Canadian dollars for the
Okay.
undergraduate students for 1 year.
Okay.
So it is between 28 to 34,000 CAD per annum for the undergrad students. Now,
Right.
the Faculty of Arts and Sciences will be in the lower range, and all the STEM programs will be towards the higher range.
Okay.
There is something that everybody should note here is that student A's tuition fee may be different from student B's tuition fee because of the kind of courses that they choose. So
Hmm.
each student will have a different combination of courses within the same faculty also. So
Okay.
their tuition fees will be a little different
Vary a
from
little, right?
their peers. So we give an approximate fee on our website. There is a fee estimator where the students can calculate their
Okay.
tuition fee for every year, and there is a proper breakup given
Right.
to. But it may vary from one student to the other.
Okay.
So this is an average tuition fee that I'm talking about. For
Right.
master students, the tuition fee ranges between 38,000 Canadian dollars and goes up to 42,000 Canadian dollars for the entire duration of the program.
Okay.
So
Which
it
would
is
usually be a 2 year?
a 2 year or a 16-month program, and it will range between that.
Right. Okay, that's
Scholarships you mentioned.
yeah, scholarships.
Yeah. Scholarships about for the undergrad is always academic based.
Okay.
We have a cutoff of 85% in their 10th and 12th final results to
Right.
qualify for our scholarships. And the students need not apply to all the scholarships because there are some which are automatic. So as soon as they receive the offer letter, they will be able to get assessed for these scholarships, say in the 1,000 to 5,000 Canadian dollar range. They will be automatically assessed. But students who are looking for the higher amount of scholarship, say the presidential scholarship of 16,000 or the
Okay.
Dean's Excellence Scholarship of 10,000 Canadian dollars, they will need to fill up an application form. There is an
Right.
awards profile that they need to fill up through their Windsor portal. So once they
Okay.
have the offer letter, they will be able to fill up that award profile, and they will
Mhm.
be able to apply for those higher amount of scholarships. Now the
Okay.
cutoff for these scholarships is always 90 and above. So
Okay.
90% is the cutoff for all the higher amount of scholarships, and the students need to apply for them. They are competitive, and a lot of international students are applying for those. So the sooner you apply, the better,
Of
because
course.
the admissions team, the scholarship team will be able to review the applications much faster, and you will have a better chance. Otherwise, it may get exhausted.
Of
So
course.
try and apply as soon as you get an offer letter if you're looking for higher amount of scholarships.
Right. And the scholarships that you just mentioned, ma'am, are these one-time scholarships or are they renewable every year?
Most of them are one time.
Okay.
They will get it for the first year of entry. The highest
Right.
amount ones, like the 16,000 or the twenty
Mhm.
thousand ones, they can divide into 4 years. So they
Okay.
can get 4,000 CAD or 5,000 CAD per year. But most of the scholarships, the international excellence scholarships, they are all one time for the first year of entry. Second year, again, we will have faculty specific scholarships, but then
Okay.
again, the students will have to apply for them, and it will be academic based.
All right, great. I think that's some very vital information that we've covered right there. And now I think moving on to a little bit more fun side of you, Windsor. Like I'm sure prospective students also want to know and understand about, various opportunities available in terms of sports, clubs, and other recreational facilities that they can probably look out for or be excited about. So if you could cover those and shed some light on that.
Sure, Tanya. This is something that we always encourage our students to do. We encourage them to engage in the campus community by selecting a lot of clubs and societies that we have. So we have more than 200 clubs and societies to choose from,
Oh wow.
whether they are looking for hiking clubs or dramatics clubs or dancing clubs, writing clubs. There are n number of options. People who are oriented towards sporting activities, we have a recreational center where they can play different kinds of sports, from basketball to football to swimming to a lot of other sports. I mean, there is a whole bunch of sports that they can get themselves affiliated to. They can be a part of varsity teams if they are able to, qualify. They'll have to give those trials or auditions to get onto the varsity teams. But there are plenty of options for students to engage outside their academic areas. And we definitely recommend the students to do so. because that is how you will get attached to the campus community. That is how you will be able to grow your network. That is how you will be able to engage with a lot of international students who are a part of the big campus community that we have.
Absolutely. And while we're on the subject of, the networking and campus community, if we can also, if you could, tell us a little bit about the help available on campus by the university
Correct.
to find jobs or for placements post the degrees are over for the students at, both the undergrad and the postgrad level. So, what kind of help can the students look forward to from the universities end?
Tanya, as you would know, that Canadian education has a lot of experiential learning
Absolutely,
embedded
yes.
into the program. So, University of Windsor is known for those opportunities. So, starting from the study years, like the academics that they are doing, they can engage with our employers' network. We
Hmm.
have a lot of co-ops embedded into the program. Now,
Right,
co-ops are learning opportunities beyond the academics. So you
right.
basically apply the academics that you study in the classroom to a practical based project. So we have that connection with more than 200 employers
Hmm.
across Canada, where students can do projects based on whatever specializations that they have taken. So we connect the student with our employers, and they are able to do projects starting from mostly the second year onwards. For some, it would be third year and fourth year. But mostly, when the students choose the specialization in their faculty, they will be able to engage with employers through these co-op opportunities that we provide them. After they complete the programs, they are able to get connected to these employers. We have annual job fairs. Like you would know, there are no campus placements in Canada or in Canadian institutions, but we do have annual job fairs where the students can go and approach an employer who's coming to the university's job fair, who has been invited to those fairs. And these job fairs start happening from January, February onwards. So even the students who are in the second, third year, they can just go and speak to the employers and then look at the kind of opportunities they might have in the future in their companies. There are a lot of employers who engage with our students throughout the year. So there are co-op fairs, there are voluntary job fairs, there are part-time job fairs that our career department organizes for our students, and the students benefit from these. So we do engage a lot with the community around the university and also across the border. So a lot of companies from the US side come down to the university to take on students.
Oh,
Many a
wow.
times it happens that when students are doing these co-op opportunities and they're able to impress their employers through the kind of projects that they have worked on, the same employers absorb them at the end of their degrees.
Right.
So mostly this happens with master's students because their period to stay in is shorter.
Yeah.
So the masters of applied computing, masters of engineering students, when they finish their programs, they are absorbed by the same companies that they have worked on projects with. So there are plenty of opportunities. The university provides 100% assistance to get or to give that sort of experiential learning opportunity that the students would look at. And they are able to get a lot of return on investment while they are working on these projects also. They get paid for these co-op projects. And we have had an overall employment rate of 95.1%
Wow.
across the university. So the students are able to get placed within 1.5 or 2 years of graduating from their programs.
Wow, perfect. Sounds great, ma'am. And I think all those things that you mentioned should be able to give any student a great head start towards securing a permanent employment opportunity for themselves on the lines of what they desire. I
Definitely.
think we've covered pretty much everything that a student would want to know about a university when they're taking that decision. But is there any other information that you feel is relevant that you would like to maybe close with?
Just one piece of advice to all the students is that uh, Don't go with what your peers are doing, don't go with what your seniors have done, but try and find the right fit of program. I mean, you'll have to see the kind of interest that you have. Only then you will be able to excel in that program. Don't feel pressurized to pursue something that somebody you know has taken up as a bachelor's or a master's degree, but try and look within yourself to see what interests you most, and only then you will be able to excel on these degrees. Your parents, your family is investing so much into your studies that you would like to get that return on investment, and you will be able to excel in these programs only when you have interest in it. Because it would be a very different teaching methodology. You'll have to get adjusted to that. So try and pursue a course which will interest you most. Don't just go by what the job market is seeking, because the job market keeps fluctuating every year. So one year IT program will be popular, the other year maybe a psychology program may get popular, and more it might have more takers. So try and focus yourself on the kind of interest areas that you are looking at, and choose a degree accordingly. Don't feel pressurized and enjoy the 4 years. These are the best 4 years or 2 years of your life that you would be pursuing.
Absolutely. I think that's the perfect closing note that we could have asked for. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time. Thank you for doing this. I think we wanted to give the students a holistic overview of the University of Windsor and the important integral information that they would, require while taking a decision about their higher education. And I think this would definitely help them. So thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure to do this.
Thank you, Tanya. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And I hope the session was useful for a lot of students who are choosing Canada as an option.
I am sure 100%.
Thank you for organizing this. Bye bye. Have a good day.
Thank you.